Greetings, fellow human. Bad Mark here with another transmission from MacTech Keyboards. And today, I'm bringing you a Frankenswitch, and it may not be Friday, but I'm still going to call it a Frankenswitch Friday because it could be a Friday when you're watching it. Meet the Buttermilk. Now, this is a switch. I previously made the Milky Princess, and I'll add a link down below. It was the housing of a Milky Red and the spring and the stem of a MMD Princess linear. And it made for a really snappy switch. It definitely linear, but it had that poppy, almost like marble glass bottom out. That sounds really well, especially in hi-fi loaded boards. Well, a little while later, I was like, all right, I've got to try the stem from the Milky Princess Tactile because I actually bought quite a few of those because I quite enjoy that tactile switch. But I really, really enjoy the stem because of its high tactility. So I actually bought me a set of Gateron Milky Browns to ensure that I had a tactile leaf spring. And I went ahead and made what I'm now calling Buttermilk. I am using, this is the 60 gram dual stage spring from the Milk Princess tactile switch that I had. And this is the stem, which has a really just heavy and fun bump, as well as being long pole, so it's going to have a nice bottom out as well. And of course, inside of the nylon housing from the Gateron Milky Brown, we got a really interesting tactile, which, like I said, I'm calling it the Buttermilk. It really has a nice snap to it. It has probably 3.4 millimeter travel, I would guess. It has a very, there's basically no pre-travel to speak of, and it's kind of the cliff or capital D type bump. But it is quite nice, and it has a very pleasing bottom out, in my opinion. So I went ahead and loaded up a set of these Buttermilk tactile switches on a stock AK820 Pro board. It's got the screen. I've done a review on it. I'll put a link down to it below. But I went ahead and replaced, this was loaded with linear flying switch, flying fish switches. That's what they're called. So I went ahead and loaded these up with these Buttermilk switches, and I think that it sounds quite nice. I've yet to do any mods to this keyboard, so it's still stock. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with the sound test of the ButterMilk Frankenswitch loaded up on this AK820 Pro from Ajaz. And I'm using a die sub cherry PBT. I think they measure in at 1.6 millimeter. And it's the bento colorway, I believe. So I do hope that you enjoyed the sound test. Maybe this gives you ideas for switches. I know I'm always trying different stems and springs inside of different housings, and sometimes they sound the same. Sometimes they feel and sound different. And in this situation, I think this just, obviously the bump is much heavier than on the stock brown, the way that it was. And because the brown is not a long pole, it was more of a muted bottom out and just kind of meh. Well, while this one is, it gives you a nice stop, and it also, because probably the two-stage spring, it gives you a nice kind of pushback, like, hey, and that's, for tactile lovers such as myself, that's a big part of the reason why we enjoy tactile switches. So I do hope that you enjoy the sound test. I hope that you enjoy my little creation, and if you decide to make some for yourself, please let me know down in the comments below. Until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.